Turning our attention now to the ASX, here's Matt Birney and Bulls and Bears with the latest public company views and interviews.
Welcome to Bulls and Bears, brought to you today by Pilbara Basin precious metals explorer Anax Metals, ASX code ANX. I'm Matt Birney and I'm joined now by the Managing Director of Anax Metals, Geoff Laing. Hi Geoff.
Hello Matt, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Anax Metals is a Perth-based mineral explorer looking to make the leap into base metals production with its 80% owned Wim Creek copper, zinc, gold, lead and silver project in WA's Pilbara region. The company recently wrapped up an updated scoping study at the project, tabling a bumper set of numbers after incorporating the high-grade Evelyn deposit about 25 kilometres south of Wim Creek into the original scoping study. Interestingly, mining giant Anglo American is backing the project with an offer of debt funding and an offtake agreement. Okay, Geoff, we'll get into those updated scoping study numbers in a minute, but firstly, who owns the other 20% of your Wim Creek project and what's the mineral resource there now?
Matt, our joint venture partners are Develop Global, which is the company now headed up by Bill Beaumont, and they're obviously developing their Sulphur Springs project in the region. Our project now has a global resource base of 10 million tonnes, a little over 1% copper and about 2% zinc.
Okay, so you've updated a previous scoping study by including the Evelyn deposit. How big is that deposit, and were there any other factors at play in the updated scoping study?
Yes, so Evelyn's a high-grade satellite deposit at about 550,000 tonnes, grading a little over 2% copper, 3.5% zinc, a gram a tonne gold, so a very rich deposit. And we're reducing costs by using gas-fired power stations rather than diesel. There's gas reticulated to site, and we've also incorporated some numbers around the bio-leaching, which we've had some big wins on. And finally, we've also upgraded our zinc pricing, which was very conservative in the previous study.
Let's dive into the updated scoping study numbers with some rapid-fire questions. Firstly, how much is this thing going to cost to build?
55 million Australian.
How long will it take you to pay that capital back?
Around about 21 months.
And the predicted mine life?
Mine life is now 7 years.
How much will it cost you to churn out a tonne of copper, and how much will you sell that tonne for?
So the C3 all-up costs are about 3,437. That's Australian, and we expect that the selling price will be about 8,550 US per tonne.
How much free cash will the project spit out over the initial life of mine, and how much was it previously under the old scoping study?
Yeah, so we're very pleased. It's moved up by nearly 100 million to 291 million from about 190 million.
And what's the net present value on the project now, and what was it in the old scoping study?
So we now have an NPV of 227 million, which is up from 163 million in the previous study.
Geoff Laing from Anax Metals, thanks for joining me on Bulls and Bears today. And remember, we're only here to give you information, not advice, which you should of course seek independently. I'm Matt Birney, and this is Bulls and Bears.
For more public company CEO interviews, go to the Money page on the 6PR, 2GB and 3AW websites and click the Public Companies tab.